Great show for you today. Hold it in, hold it tight, don't let it go. We're going to start in Seattle, where as good as the Seahawks, or Tiki, my friend Tiki, as good as the Seahawks are on offense, they are lacking that on defense. So yesterday they addressed that problem. Hello, problem. Acquiring Pro Bowl defensive end Carlos Dunlap from the Bengals, hoping he can give the league's worst-ranked defense some help. But Brandon, do the Seahawks need the defense to improve drastically, or is Russ good enough to carry the Seattle team no matter what?
I don't think so. I don't think Russell is good enough to carry this team when that defense is playing like that. Historically bad through 6 games. We all know the stats. They're giving up the most yardage in NFL history. This is a great signing by the Seattle Seahawks. Carlos Dunlap is not one of those guys that's going to have 15, 16 sacks a season. He's going to be right there around 8 sacks a year, but he is so disruptive. He can do everything. He can stop the run. He can be aggressive and disruptor in the pass game. This is a really good signing for them. And you also got to remember, Damian Snack Harris, Nick, is sitting on the sideline. So I think he's probably dropped maybe 15, 20 pounds since being on that practice squad. So he's going to come in and be a disruptor. You have Jamal Adams coming off that groin injury. He was supposed to practice yesterday, but didn't. So he may be a week or two back. I think this historically bad defense can easily go to good when they get those 3 guys on the field at the same time, Nick.
Okay, so a few things. I'm not sure what year these Carlos Dunlap highlights are from. I just know most of them aren't from this year, because this year he's been something of a non-factor. Now, maybe that's the situation. Maybe that's just the Bengals malaise. But Brandon's right. Once upon a time, Carlos Dunlap was one of the most disruptive forces in the league. I don't know if he still is that, but if he is even something like that, he will help this historically bad Seahawks defense. To answer the question, Russ might be good enough to carry this Seattle team no matter what, but they are trying to thread a needle that has never been thread in NFL history, a defense this bad winning a championship. The team I consistently bring up when we talk about the Seahawks is the team near and dear to my heart, the 2018 Kansas City Chiefs. They came as close as any team with a historically bad defense has come to winning a Super Bowl. If not for an offsides call or a coin flip in overtime, they go to a Super Bowl, and then who knows. But that team didn't even get to the Super Bowl, much less win it. And so the question really is right now, I think more than about Carlos Dunlap, to Brandon's point, when Jamal Adams comes back, what does he bring Seattle? Because Wilds, my friends in Las Vegas, the odds makers, I don't know if anyone else has noticed, they're cooling a bit on the Seahawks. The Seahawks are at home this week against San Francisco. They are 3-point favorites. That is our friends in Vegas telling us, we think the Niners and Seahawks, about the same quality of team. Give them 3 points for home, otherwise it'd be a pick 'em. And after San Francisco, you've got Buffalo, the Rams, Arizona. It's a very tough month of football coming up for Seattle. I don't think Wilds, they could. Well, going to Buffalo from Seattle to Buffalo.
Nick?
Well, Brandon, I don't think Buffalo's good. I don't think Buffalo's good. That's not the conversation right now, but I understand other people do. But Seattle historically, going West Coast to East Coast, whether it's a good team or a bad team, does not do really well at those 1 o'clock East Coast kick times. I know you know that. So Wilds, I believe that Seattle's got to find a way to get better on defense, because no matter how great Russ is, that's not going to be able to carry you to 3 or 4 consecutive playoff victories.
I totally agree. Look, there's 6 great teams in the NFL. It's the Ravens, the Steelers, the Bucks, the Packers, the Chiefs, and the Seahawks. Now I'm going to give you 6 numbers, and these 6 numbers are the amount of pass yards that they give up. The Ravens give up 230. The Steelers give up 217. The Bucks give up 225. Packers 240. Chiefs 211. Seahawks 368. Who's the outlier? Who doesn't belong in the great teams club? Well, it's the Seahawks. And if Carlos Dunlap can go and make a 150-yard improvement to get him in line with the Chiefs, then he deserves $150 million. He's like, look at me. I single-handedly saved us the whole length of the field and then some. So I don't think it's enough, but I do think, Brandon, that the Seahawks brass is doing the right thing, because while everyone else is sitting on the sidelines, Bill Belichick, make a move. I actually like that Seattle's there being like, all right, let's go get Jamal Adams. Let's get Carlos Dunlap. Let's see who else is out there. It feels like everybody else in the league is just sitting on their hands.
Well, you talk about that $150 million. In retrospect, you think they would go back and give Clowney $150 million now? You let that guy walk out of the door. Bruce Irvin, you bring him in. He goes down with an ACL. They're just banged up. They have two issues, personnel and scheme. Their scheme is actually good. The problem is that they just been running it for 10+ years. And everyone in the NFL has a book. We do this, right? Like every team, every player pulls out their book. Oh, the Seattle Seahawks, let's see what they do on first down. 70% of the time they do that. On second down, second and short, second and long. This is what they do. And I think that's a huge issue. No one's talking about that. I've been saying it week after week when we talk about the Seattle Seahawks. I picked them to win the Super Bowl, Nick. But the reality is, when you look at what they do, everybody knows. I think the average fan knows exactly what's going to happen on third and short. The average fan knows what's going to happen on third and long, where Bobby Wagner's going to line up, where KJ Wright's going to line up, what happens if there's 3-by-1, 2-by-2. In fact, that is the issue.
Brandon, that's why I think the biggest addition Seattle's going to make over the next 10 days is getting Jamal Adams back. Because Jamal Adams is a linebacker who plays safety, and the ability to use him, something of a rover in the defense, I think could be somewhat transformative for them if he's fully healthy and if he looks like the Jamal Adams that he looked like with the Jets. But the other, Jenna, and this is a very, very pro-Russell Wilson show. Brandon knows him and is friends with him. I was beating the drum 5 years ago when Andrew Luck was getting all the headlines Russell Wilson rightly deserved. Wilds loves him, you love him. You love Mr. Unlimited. With that said,
named his kid after him.
Russ needs to play well this Sunday against the Niners. He's coming off a brutal game by anyone's standards. Those three picks, they weren't tipped balls, Brandon, those are bad picks. One was in the end zone, one was in the red zone, one was in overtime.
Here's the deal. I can assure you this, and it's not because I'm friends with Russ, but because I've been around him. I saw his work ethic, and I saw what he's able to do. This is not, a lot of people think, oh, Russ is having an MVP year because he's hot. There's a lot of guys that are trendy. There's a lot of guys that are hot. This is actually Russell Wilson maturing and being smarter on the field, understanding what's going on, slowing the game down while they're giving him more opportunities to throw the ball. So this isn't a thing where you're going to see